And there you have it. We are live. And welcome back, everybody. Hope that everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. One of the greatest motorsport weekends of the year. And hey, day after Memorial Day, we still got racing going on because the HOBO Cup Series is back. Another Tuesday night of action from Charlotte, or rather the Lowe's Motor Speedway, I would say in this case. 120 laps on tap. Going to be another excellent race. Going to be a very competitive race, I think, as well, with the high banks and kind of narrow groove that this track provides. Hey, we always have a fun time with these, and I think tonight is going to be no different. I mean, how can you not have fun when you got this guy up here in the booth as well? Zach Rogers back up here once again.
What's up, Andrew? It's the heart of NASCAR here tonight. Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway. You can call it whichever. We know what you mean. And yes, 24 degrees of banking. Very fun track. One of probably the most fun tracks that comes with the game. 120 laps of action. Sure to be a great night. Watch turn 4 exit for people either getting really tight or stepping out loose and looping it. This track is known to have a lot of spinners off of turn 4 with the way the banking transition is built into the track. And then you also want to be careful going down into turn 1, because turn 1 kind of starts out slow and then kind of drops you into the corner. So if you go into turn 1 too deep, you could overload your springs and loop it there in the middle of 1 and 2, and no one's going to have anywhere to go if they're behind you. Like you said, it's only really wide enough for about 2 wide racing. 3 wide is pushing your luck.
Yeah, a very narrow mile and a half by regular standards. So we'll see how that may play into some of the havoc, if there indeed is any havoc. I know if I was out
Oh,
there,
interesting.
I would absolutely be feeling some havoc there. But yep, qualifying just concluded here.
And Keith McLean was in second, but either chose to or for some reason was disqualified. He will start 20th instead of second.
Oh boy.
But Caleb Lingle on pole for the 5th time this season.
Man, those guys have had it on lock, whether it's Caleb or Herman or Keith
Or
for that
Keith.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, so Caleb joins Herman now with 5 poles, so they're both tied at 5. Keith down there at 4.
And then one lone Ken Hansen with that Bristol pole that we always like to mention. But
Yeah.
yep, we got Caleb Engel and Herman Reese on the front row, the only guys in the 0.6 range, 28.6 for their qualifying laps. Mark DeCenza up there in third, hoping for finally a good run for that 33. He had that good run at Texas. Let's see if he could do it again at a very similar racetrack. And then Steve Grant, Wiley King are the top 5. If you would like to go through the rest of them.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, so joining Wiley King in row 3 is Jason San Diego. Row 4, you got Eddie Riley and Fugate. Row 5 is Ken Hansen and Ron Simpson. Row 6, Maverick and Steve Rubino. Row 7, Harry Codian and Irv Johnston. Row 8, Ryan Johnson and Duke Sorensen. In row 9 is Ricky Bumbalo and Dan Rubino. And rounding out those that set lap time, you got 43 of Charlie Trusty in 19th, and joining him in row 10 will be Keith McLean. Rest of the drivers that did not set a time in order are DJ in the 77, Denzo in the 051, Troy Donahue in the 81, Monty Keller in the 028, Randy Smith in the 10, Rob Heath in the 27, and Bob Gibson in the 46 rounds out the 27 driver field. A notable driver missing from the entry list tonight, that 029 of kilojoules.
Yeah, we'll see if that may affect his points standing, which of course we'll be sure to try and update that at the conclusion of the
Well,
race here.
I don't think he'll have to worry too much as opposed to earlier in the season. He's got about a almost a 200-point gap back to Ron Simpson, who's in 13th. So I think at the most he'll just drop to 12th.
Gotcha. And yep, as long as he can, I think as long as he continues to make other consistent starts, obviously, I mean he's got the speed. He'll be able to point his way back up there. So, Charlotte, 120 laps, 45-mile-per-hour pit speed. Zach, I'll pose the question for you since you've got two corners that are that deceptively seem very similar, and yet, as you said, they drive very, very differently. Going about how to drive the track, and a track that seems like it's got a fair amount of tire wear to it in the long run. What would you say would be the best approach in trying to conquer this beast?
Yeah, well, going into turn one, I kind of like to lift right at where the curve starts, and then I like get it down. I pin it down on entry. I let it ride up maybe half a lane, and then get back in the throttle, middle of the corner, like diamond the corner back down, then let it come straight up off the corner. So turn one entry and turn two exit are very similar. There's like a slight corner to start, and then it gets tight going in. And then when you come out of the corner, it's like going up the hill. It's like a nice slow up. And then when you go down into turn three, it's the complete opposite. It's like a subtle transition right into the corner. And then when you come off of turn four, it can get very flat and light on you. Going into pit road here, it's a bit of a unique pit road. When you come down off the track, you've got a little bit of space before the timing line starts, so you can kind of carry a little more speed off the banking than at say Kansas or Las Vegas.
And how that will play into tonight, I think is going to. I think the haves and the have-nots are going to very quickly uh, be withered down here as far as who's got the setup and who doesn't. As we mentioned before, open setup for this league as always in this series, of course. So everyone's got a little different piece. We know that those four horsemen guys probably all running pretty similar sets, and I'm sure that they'll be in communication with each other, trying to figure that out. Although there is actually one guy who's missing from that. I know you mentioned KJ being missing from tonight's field, but also Jeff Stakanis is also not in the field tonight. That is very unusual. But how that will play into who's going to be the heavy hitters on the night. Hey, might open the door for someone to come to the front here. Barbara, you're not late at all. You are right on time. We are just about to get this party started. The field is gridding up. I'm going to hop on and off track so I don't hold these guys up. And we're about to go racing here in NASCAR's backyard.
And so Jeff missing the field tonight at the will most likely drop him to sixth in the points. Maybe a little more, depending how Wiley King and Duke Sorensen do. But absolutely, he'll be dropping the sixth. So I just had a man yell in my ears with the command, Andrew. I'm sure you had a different sound pack than me, but that scared me a little bit.
Yours was probably way more exciting than mine. Mine was very short and to the point, which a little PSA that I will throw out there to anyone who ever gives the command to fire engines at any racing event. Put your entire soul into it. Make it as if it's the last thing you're ever going to do on this earth. That's the most fun way to do it, and that will get everybody pumped up. That is how I see it. I will always recommend just letting loose with it as if your life depends on it. but that's just me.
You got to go Kevin James on that microphone.
Oh my God, you're not kidding. That might be one of my favorite commands of all
I
time.
think that might be the command of all time. I've heard it used as a sample in some songs. So
Oh my God. So I'm sure that exists in a sound pack for this game. If it
oh
doesn't,
yes.
can someone please get on that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
No, yeah. Mystical has made a bunch of Gentlemen Start Your Engine commands, so it's out there.
I gotta get that into this game. You gotta have everybody. You know what? That's what we're here for Nashville next week. We'll get Kevin James to give the command here. But tonight, though, it is Caleb Lingle and Herman Reese. A couple familiar guys to the front of the field here. And they are at the front for the start of the most patriotic race of the season. We're green flag racing at Charlotte the day after Memorial Day. And into the treacherous cold tire turn 1 and 2. Everyone's trying to figure it out here in a hurry and getting her down to single file very, very quickly.
This track's got about a second of fall off if you pace yourself from the get-go. If not, that'll creep up to maybe about a second and a half. Fuel run here with the draft will get you about 31 to 33 laps, maybe 34, depending on your gearing. And if you clutch here, you can save up to about maybe 3 or 4 laps.
All right, so and that may play into the pit strategy here. If we do go green, that would pretty much lock you into,
Could be
what
a
would that be,
pretty...
3-stopper?
Yeah, it should be a straightforward 3-stop race.
Like pretty much right on the number for pretty much each of them, but that'll work out nicely for these guys. But so far, everyone just kind of minding their P's and Q's. Thought Maverick might look on Ken Hansen there for 9th. Thought better of it. And all pretty clean and all square so far. Of course, we'll be periodically checking on this 28 and see how he's working his way forward. Just got by Dan Rubino there. But still back in 20th, so probably not in too much of a hurry as of yet. Some side damage already on a few guys, including Charlie G, Charlie Trusty up there, almost into the wall, and already some side damage on that beautiful number 43, which glad we finally got the scheme for that one.
Heath gonna pick off another one. Charlie gets in the wall again. Like I said, turn 4 is the corner, the calamity corner here. You're either going to get really tight and it's just going to shoot straight up into the wall on you, or it likes to step out loose right at corner exit and spin out on you. Stenzo clips the apron in turn 2 right in front of Keith McLean.
Oof, they're really jockeying behind him. I'll keep an eye on that there for a moment, but that will be another position for the 28. He's got a bit of a gap now to the 49. I think that'll kind of help him find his rhythm a little bit and allow him to save those tires to try to close in on the long run. I know that's something that he'll probably look to do.
One driver to watch here tonight, in my opinion, is 95 of Wiley King. Wiley's ran this track quite a few times over at Bomb Squad as well as other places, and he's gotten really good here. So you can't count that 95 out at all for maybe a surprise victory. Would be his first one on the season. Wiley currently 7th in the points with a top 5 and 5 top 10s.
It would be well deserving of a good run here. We saw him have a lot of speed at the Charlotte CCR race that we did here on the channel a little while back. And yeah, he had a lot of speed in that one. Right now running 5th behind his Speedland teammate, Steve Grant. And just keep those tires under you. And we'll be rooting for that 95 to also get himself a good result. Came so close to winning at Texas. But yeah, definitely a very capable driver on these types of tracks. Everybody in a good orderly line at the moment. Back to Ron Simpson in 13th. Ricky Bumbalo holding on in 14th to that draft. Steve Rubino rounds out the top 15 also with that side damage, as Maverick looking again, not going to be able to get there. Everyone still remains stationary.
Keith McLean just ran
Whoa!
his fastest lap of the race at 29.357.
Maverick just about had a moment there off of 2, nearly lost it, but held on and no harm, no foul. Kept it above the white line and still 10th, but that'll be a heart in the throat moment. And top 3 kind of in their own little code right now. Caleb continuing to lead from pole position here. Lap 10 underway. And so far so good, pretty much for everybody, although 43 is, yeah, definitely dropping back. And Keith, as you said, on the charge. We'll see how long it'll take for him to get up to the front. I imagine he'll be up there at some point or another.
Maverick making another move here on Ken Hansen. The quad oval is the trickier place to make a move for position here because you never know when someone, you know, might just be focusing on their own line and they don't really see you get that tiny bit of a run. So they like go to follow the line and that door closes really quickly. Whether it's entering the quad oval or exiting the quad oval, that door closes very quickly. And that can create some incidences. Ryan Johnson's giving the grass a little kiss. Oh, he's going to give it a kiss again.
Hey, shortest way around the racetrack. And the splitter don't cause a problem in this game, so hey, why not? Go for it.
Maverick in the wall a little bit there off of turn 2.
Ken Hansen really dropped back after Maverick made that move back to 13th. Harry Cody ended up into the top 10 now in that 13. I know he's looking for a solid run himself. A lot of drivers that, yeah, I mentioned the haves and the have-nots. There have been a lot of drivers that have and have not had luck on their side throughout this season. I would say that the 13 is one of the have-nots in that category, even though he's usually pretty consistent. So I would expect that 13 to be quietly looking at a good result, but he's going to have things go his way finally if he's going to get a good result, because that's currently lacking, as Fugate trying to make the move on Jason San Diego for P6, and will complete that pass.
You talk about bad luck. Another one of those drivers is the 33 of Mark DeSenza. Sits 28th in the points. Has missed just one race this season, but only 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s for him on the year. We know he had a really good run going at, I believe it was Bristol, and that went away from him at the end. So early, but a long way to go as the caution is out here for the first time tonight.
At 15, and that appears to be Greg Stenzo. Yeah, that's a front end crumpled up by the looks of it. We'll take a look and see what has happened to the 51 machine. Off 2. Oh boy, that looks like just the old back end steps out.
He clipped the apron a tiny bit there, and then it looks like it might have just washed up back up the track just enough to step out on him.
And yeah, that's a wallop on the front end. Realistic damage. I think he's car is gonna be feeling that one for a while.
He done.
He done.
He done.
Well, if he ain't done, he probably won't even have a front clip at the very least.
Troy Donahue did not start the race, and he left Team Speed right around the green, so I'm not sure what happened to Troy.
Oh, and he did retire, did the 51, so I guess technically you could call that 2 retirees already for the race.
Yeah, one's a DNS.
Yeah, one
did not start. 2 different things, Andrew.
Green. Yeah, it's true.
It's did not start or did not finish.
SF.
Finish. You can't fail to finish if you never started.
And that is prime life lesson for anything that you're doing to try to reach your goals. And that was unintentional motivational speaking with Zach Rogers. Everybody's on pit road here. And there's not much of a good view of pit exit. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Darn pit lane 1 camera. What do you mean there's not a good view?
Yeah, that's true. I guess I didn't really think of that now, did I?
Oh, Mark DeSenza took 2. Was he too close?
That's a good question. It didn't look like it from my perspective. But...
Oh, yeah. I think he might have been too close. He might have just been too close.
There's that gaggle coming
Yeah.
off pit road there.
Because I'm looking at it in freeze frame right now, just looking down the line, and Mark is like almost another like he's like a third of a car width over from Herman. So it might have got him. It might have got him for being a little too close. So we'll see if he elects to just go with it. I mean, 15 laps on your left sides, it's going to be quite the price. I mean, either way, he's either going to fall to the back from the lead and be in a little danger with the cold heat cycled lefts, or you just go to the back, play it safe. And yeah, I don't think he meant to do that. Yeah, he was too close. So he's
Yep.
going to go back down. That's a tough break, but it's still very early. Plenty of time for things to happen. Plenty of time to gain those positions back. As we see Keith McLean, who started in the back. Let's see here where it puts him at the line. Currently 13th.
Slowly but surely going on forward.
And that's actually 12th place as Mark hit the line in front of him. But Caleb Lingle, the race leader. Caleb, of course, another guy that hasn't had the best of luck. He's 19th in the points. He's got the one win. But outside of that one win, he's only got one more top 5 and 2 more top 10s. He's been the king of bad luck here in the HOBO Racing Series this season.
Oh man, you're not kidding. Yeah, that other top 5 coming at Talladega when he finished runner-up to Eddie Rayleigh. And man, the chance that he had at the win at Rockingham, and then ended up spinning from, I think it was like second or third, while battling Fugate and a bunch of other guys for the win.
Yeah.
And yeah, has that one lone win at Vegas. And I remember kind of saying, like, well, at least you kind of have that you can at least kind of console yourself with. But no, I'm with you, and I think I remember you saying this before, that when you're that deep in the points with as much speed as you've got in a series like this, yeah, that it ain't the most consolation in the world just to have that one win. You want more. You want to give yourself a chance at this championship. And while he will have that, I'm sure it's certainly gonna. He's also another driver that requires his luck to turn around a lot once the chase begins.
One thing to consider too about his standing right now is he has missed 2 races this season. If you were to even add, like, say, average finishes of like getting like 100 points or 120 points, that would propel him right up to 13th. So he's still having a decent year. I mean, the average finish is a 14.75. But obviously missing 2 races and having a lot of that bad luck early has not helped his season. But as you said, the chase will reset a lot of that. So right now it's just get yourself in position and, just try to get some good runs going, get that momentum building. So Caleb will lead him to the restart here. We'll have 101 laps to go. Herman Reese will be second. Fugate third. Wiley King fourth, Steve Grant in fifth. Cody Ann, Rayleigh, San Diego, Johnson, and Maverick are your top 10. Mark DeSenza, after having to go back down and take lefts, will restart in 22nd place.
And just ahead of Steve Rubino there, I had to check in on the Rubinos there for the fan club that's usually in the chat. But coming back to the restart zone here, Caleb Lingle looking for a good run tonight. Has led every lap thus far, except for under caution. Randy Smith was able to steal a couple there. But we're back to racing, and here we go, back into the treacherous 1 and 2 on these cold tires. We'll kind of check in, make sure everyone gets through here. San Diego into the apron. Ryan Johnson with the move there. I don't think that was necessarily planned, but that's going to gain him 2 positions. My goodness.
Right now, I'm back here watching from the onboard of the Senza. He's going to get by the 43 and the 77 here off of turn 4. That'll put him back into the top 20. Now he'll set his sights on the 44 of Dan Rubino. Next man up, and Mark just going to slowly pick his way through here. He'll get a good run here off of turn 2. That'll get him to the inside of the 44. And now he'll eye Duke Sorensen. So Mark just kind of letting them set themselves up
Oh,
for him as
someone
there's a
spun
crash
it.
in front.
Oh, look out.
Oh, and the
Oh,
49 came down right in front of Duke Sorensen. Mark DeSenza
miss it.
just going to get
Ugh.
into the 49, but very minor contact. Don't think that'll hurt him too much.
Ugh. I'm with you. I don't think it'll hurt him too bad, but golly, you just got to sit here and think, golly, it's happened again. But a number of other guys, including Rayleigh, both of the Johnstons, and yeah, Dan Rubino in that as well. Duke Sorensen with a very tore up number 59. And back under yellow once
And
again.
Eddie went into turn 3 and it just looped on him. I think he might have carried too much speed going into the corner and it just looped on him. And then a lot of guys were reacting to that, and Irv Johnston tried to cut down really hard. He was up in the middle groove, and Irv tried to cut down as hard as he could, and that spun him out. And then the rear end started coming back down the track and wasn't able to lock down the brake in time, and just came down right in front of Duke Sorensen and got demolished. And then Dan Rubino and DJ looped it, and then Irv again, foot not on the brake, comes down in front of Mark DeSenza.
Yeah, he had just come down from being airborne there for a good moment at the 49, but I think that's going to be his race over by the looks of it. Yeah, he's going to get the worst out of that one of pretty much of everybody, although Duke Sorensen's also going to be in very rough shape. A tore up rear end on the 112 after getting a hit into the wall. We'll get a look here at Sorensen trying to avoid, and yep, just the banking there. There's the spin for the 77 and the 44. Just about got hit by his bro, the 07. But thankfully, Steve managed to miss him. And I don't think much harm done for either 44 or 77, so that's good news. And very minimal damage, it looks like, on that 33, so that's good news as well.
Yeah, he didn't spend any extra time on pit road to fix damage. Once those left sides dropped, he was able to drive away. So very minor contact for the 33. So he'll just have to set himself back up here to start going back through the field.
Hey, he was starting to make work of it there pretty quickly, and I'm sure he'll be able to pull it off yet again. Just kind of checking in on some of these guys in the back. I see Rayleigh coming down pit road and checking in. Yep, 59 and 49 now out of it as well. Still going to have 23 drivers in this thing, all of which will be on the lead lap, as we are within 100 to go. Lap 24 of 120, and not too much has changed up here at the front, although I will give a shout out to Fugate, who has clawed his way up to third so far. And, yep, good gain so far for the 9. Another driver that's very capable on these types of tracks. Of course, won it at Rockingham and at the non-televised Texas race. So, Fugate looking strong. Ken Hansen, I was going to mention, had really dropped back after that first pit stop and is currently scored 14th. Sure that he'll be looking to try to move his way back forward a little bit, because that 94 definitely has a bit more speed than that. Keith McLean, now up to 11th. I think you can insert the Jaws theme eventually with him coming forward.
One thing you got to remember, Andrew, is the closer you get to the front, the harder it becomes to pass.
That's very true. Your competition gets a little stiffer, and he's getting close. He is getting close to that stiff competition. So, probably going to be taking lights out here, I would imagine, and indeed that is the case. A lot of guys clutching, maybe trying to get it into
it's close right now.
into a window here.
If it goes green from here, it's close right now. I think a bunch of those guys stayed out too, so it's a little close.
Yeah, I'm probably hoping for another yellow, I would imagine, and that would reset things, but 113, Caleb Lingle continues to lead. Herman Reese. Those two remain unchanged. Fugate, as we mentioned, up to third. Wiley King, Steve Grant, P4 and 5. Harry Codian up to 6th. Nice spot there for the 13 thus far. Ryan Johnson in 7th, which I will also give a shout out to him and how impressive that is, considering the fact that he just jumped in the server, no practice, and kaboom, already looking strong. Jason San Diego, Maverick, and Ricky Bumbalo in the top 10. As it stands, we will be coming to lap 26. There will be 95 laps to go on this restart.
Da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da da. We're going green. Caleb Lingle is leading the field to the green.
Welcome to Top Dragster, the musical. Oh God, that would be that would be a nightmare and a half if I had to start doing that.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a musical it would be if we were all stuttering half the time.
I stuttered bad, in case everyone can't tell, for the last several years that I've been doing these streams.
No. You stutter? No way.
Oh, I've stuttered pretty much my entire life. See, like that, right there.
Sarcasm, you must learn to sense, young one.
Oh, I know sarcasm.
Oh, you were just humoring me?
Anytime that someone uses sarcasm on me, I just, yeah, I humor them, and I just like, that way if they are being serious, they can't come back at me.
Mark DeSenza 16th. A couple of those guys pit second time by, so he's
Whoa!
a few spots back.
That was a big move from Keith. He made like a dive move there on Bumbalo, just about scared the daylights out of the 85, and now
yeah, he's losing a couple spots now.
Yeah, he's falling way back behind Ron Simpson. I don't think that he was quite ready for that, but that 28 already up to 10th.
Ryan Johnson took a peek at Harry Codian, but wasn't able to quite stick the move.
We got some racing back here. Ken Hansen, Rob Heath. Man, Bumbalo's still just on that high side.
On the top, you just go backwards.
That's most game tracks. So you get up there in the high line and see you later.
Thinking like a concrete block in the ocean.
Whoa, DeSenza on the outside.
Ooh, he's right up there against the wall.
Oh, credit to him for
trying to do it the hard way.
Let's say somehow kept it off the wall. Don't know how he pulled that off. Ravith fighting hard here for 14th.
Oh, that's the scary thing right there. Whew, gets tight right there off of turn 4.
And yeah, here's that kind of double dog leg there on the front stretch. Oh, look at Mark try to send it, try to get clear of the 27. I think he'll be able to do it here on exit. Whoa, something's up here.
A little sideways there off of turn 2, but keeps it straight.
I think Steve Grant just had a moment. He's getting freight trained.
All it takes is one.
Oh, he hit the wall.
Try to get back in line here in front of Monty Keller. He'll hold 10th place. But keep McLean's up into the top 10, Andrew.
Yeah, now 9th. He's still doing his thing, although that was definitely Steve Grant getting into the wall. You saw the side damage, and everyone took a void in action at once.
There's some decent separation now from Wiley King to Harry Codian. That's where Steve Grant was in front of the 13. As Harry looks like he's getting a little tight off of 4.
Ooh.
Maverick to the inside of San Diego for 7th.
Reese just thought about trying to pass the 113 on the outside, but thought better of it. And
he's got a good run here. He might go for it in the 3.
Yeah, Herman's looking really sporty here, whether that's the 113 saving fuel or 73 just looking a little quicker. He is looking very, very strong in that Cadillac, which of course no surprise that he's looking good, but he's definitely looking a little bit stronger than the 113. As it stands, though, you still got Fugate and Wiley King sticking right there with them, though. And then, yeah, a little get back to Codian still, even though he just lapped a few tenths quicker than all the top 4.
Not sure if we covered it, but obviously the 49 to Irv Johnston done for the night from that accident, as well as Duke Sorensen and Eddie Rayleigh choosing to call it a day.
I saw him coming down pit road there. That's a tough break there for the Martinsville and Talladega winner. And his night will end prematurely as well. Pretty sure it leaves 22.
Yep.
22 cars on track. All
Hey,
on the lead lap so far. Here we go for the lead.
Mark DeSenza is about to knock on the door of the top 10. As Herman Reese will go by Caleb Lingo for the top spot. Let's see if Caleb can get back down in front of Fugate to hold second. He'll do just that.
Got a decent little run here. Don't know if he's going to quite have enough to try to get back on Herman, but that's 73 to the points. That is a very familiar sight for this season and pretty much anybody that races Hobo on a regular
Mark
basis.
DeSenza's got a really good run off of 2, and he almost dumped Steve.
Whoa! Steve holding on to it somehow.
Yeah, he was right up the spoiler of Steve Grant, and they might have made the slightest of contact right on the exit of the transition. That checked up Mark that let Ron Simpson get into the top 10.
Whoa, that was very, very impressive that these guys were able to hold on to it, especially Steve. And now DeSenza is going to try to get that top 10 back once again on the 25 and will do so pretty easily.
That 33 is maybe easy top 5 speed right now that we've seen in the race. And that little accident, he was a part of, I mean, he got lucky. He barely hit the 49 in the door, got no real damage out of it. That thing looks fine. Driving good.
I think he's driving really good, already pulling away from the 25. Oh, Henson in the wall.
He's going to drive away from the drivers behind him, but once he gets clear of them, he's not going to have any real draft to catch the guys in front of him. So he's just got to kind of bide his time here. Hope he's got the long run speed to pick off a couple more of them before pit stops kick in. About a third of the way into this stint.
Yeah, his next look there will be Jason San Diego. And he did close 3/10, but yeah, as you said, even with cup physics, draft will be playing a little bit of a factor in this race tonight. Keith McLean to P8 as he got by the 22 and now looking to get another one on the 23. He was running a very impressive 7th at the moment. Harry Codan in the top 5. That is well deserved. I mean, obviously, I know that we're this early in the race, but man,
Fugate up to second.
It's another driver that, hey, I said it earlier, he absolutely is due for a good result. And Fugate, as you said, up to the runner-up position. Is that 113 just starting to fade just a little bit? Don't know if he's already fried his tires or maybe saw him clutch under caution. Maybe trying to save that little bit of extra fuel.
You know what? I don't get seen run a lot in any of the Gen 6 BR series that are around.
What's that?
I don't see a lot of Dodge Chargers. I see mostly the darts. People like running the darts. But see, the dart imports on the Ford body. So if you were to run cockpit, I mean, you got a Ford emblem staring at you in the face. You go on board Fugate's car, all that's in there is Dodge, baby.
That is a beautiful looking Dodge there. Caleb's going to try to get second place back on him. Going into turn number 3. Fugate's going to let him have it. Too early in the race to be racing that hard. Oh, is he going to get back on him, though? As Caleb gets tight. Yep, think he backed out.
Close.
And Herman just pulling another couple car lengths.
Oh, man, Andrew, every time I look back at that 28, he's got another spot. He's up to 7th now.
And we keep missing it. But, Wiley King with a frightening moment there as he just worked. Yellow flag, turn 1.
Looks like maybe Dan Rubino and Randy Smith.
Yeah, mayhaps. Man, they didn't fall that far back, though. I don't know what's up.
Oh, it was just Dan. Dan, oh, what on earth?
This looks interesting. Let's see. Oh, wow.
It barely went around. Oh, he just kept it in the grass too long and lost it. He had it saved, and then he kept it in the grass too long instead of coming up that extra lane back onto the track. Maybe he was scared, might have been a little apprehensive about coming a little more aggressively back onto the track. Didn't want to have that grip loop him back around instead. So he tried to keep it into the grass a little longer until he got out of the quad oval, and it just looped him around. And unfortunately, there was one more car coming. Now
Ugh.
everyone should be good when they pit here. They'll make it on 2 more pit stops. Fuel mileage. Yeah, there's no shot of even like clutching enough to make it on a 1 stop, even after this pit stop. So this will be an important pit stop. You've got Keith McLean up to 7th. You've got the Senza back up to 10th.
Game on. Let's see what we've got. As I will give Dan a lot of credit for just spinning it
That
and
was a
not
good
hitting a
save.
single thing. Yeah, he hit nothing, which was very impressive. I think he may have also been nervous about Bob Gibson to his outside.
Yeah, I think that's what part of it was. He didn't want to just bring it right back up onto the track and risk, maybe getting into Bob. The big battle off of pit road
Oh, this is going to
here.
be close.
Caleb gets it. Keith McLean gets a spot on Wiley King.
Yeah, Wiley King dropped back a little bit there. I think he's going to drop probably like 2 at least. As
Well,
Steve Grant has remained on the racetrack.
while we're under this caution period, I think it's a good time for Bulldog's Garage.
Let's get it. Yeah, this will be one that will be rather interesting because, like I said, each corner drives very differently. So, what do we got?
Yeah, so I think I might have done part of this setup for the Bomb Squad broadcast about a month or 2 ago. But one of the interesting things about my setup that I'm looking at here now is I have the front toe out at 0.000. A very standard thing a lot of people will do is they'll have that at 0.100 or 0.125. The standard is 0.125. But for one reason or another, I just have it at 0.000. I believe I did build my setup in part off of a Jovan Anderson setup, but I've made a lot more changes to it since then. It's a little more of my own thing. But it's mostly a standard setup. I like to run a little more weight at the rear of the car. So I got the front bias at a 1750. That's a 48.6%. Left bias, of course, all the way to the left. And I've got 100 pounds of wedge taken out of the car. Now, some of y'all might be thinking, man, that sounds kind of loose. Like, what do you do to counteract that? Well, so if you go to my suspension, on the rear end suspension, I've got the left rear compression at a 6 and the right rear compression at a 1. So I've got the right rear as tight as it can go on the compression, and the left rear is about 2/3 of the way up, as compression goes anywhere from a 1 to a 9. So I'm running pretty aggressive there. And I've got just a tiny bit of a rear spring split. I got 400 pounds on the left rear and 425 on the right rear. Other than that, it's nothing too special. 7 -2 camber, left front to right, front even, front springs at 850, and the standard 2848 tire pressure.
So, what's interesting to me about that setup that you have there is that it seems like, yeah, you're getting your like your turn or your quote unquote looseness from different places than where a lot of guys would typically do it, which would be the difference in the size of the rear springs. For you, it's more wedge and that front toe out, which I know that the lower that you have it, the less the car tends to sink into the track, from
Yeah,
what I
so
understand.
the way front toe out works is it's the angle of the wheels. So if you have positive toe out, the wheels point away from the car. So the left front would be pointing into the corner. The right front would be pointing like against the corner, right? If you have negative toe out, it points the wheels in, which, is kind of a good thing for like a road course or something. So the left front would be facing to the right. The right front would be facing to the left. There are people, though, who will run a negative toe out on an oval. So they have the right front facing all the way to the left, but then the left front is facing to the right, because typically the left front is the hardest tire to heat up no matter what oval you go to. The left front is the hardest tire to heat up. But the left rear typically wears the least. But so you can play around with stuff like that.
Hey, that's the joys of the open setup. You can run any combination that you want, and if it works for you, no matter how wacky it may look, if it works, it works, and that's all that matters. As here we go once again, coming to lap 47 of 120. Green flag back out, Caleb Lingle back to the lead.
Mark DeSenza restarts in 8th place as Keith McLean is up in 6th. 74 laps to go here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Wiley King in 7th. And, dropped just a skosh on that round of pit stops, but still looking strong. Got Jason San Diego and Maverick round out the top 10. Battle for 11th, Bumbalo and Monty Keller. Shout out to Monty, coming a little bit more further forward there than he has been so far in this race. Up in 11th, trying to get clear on the 85. Not going to be able to do so, and they will remain side by side heading into turn 1.
Monty's going to get it there. Yeah, Monty carrying a lot of speed there on the outside. Gets a little loose, scrapes the wall a tiny bit off turn 2, but no harm, no foul.
Keeping it straight and keeping it looking pretty good. That was a very, very good corner, and is going to be able to hold on to that position. Ryan Johnson up to 5th. That's another dangerous driver to watch out for. We're always mentioning how quick he is. The Homestead winner, and may have a run here for 4th on Harry Cody. And how about Harry? Another spot forward on that 13. I don't know if maybe that 13 is going to be potentially looming here with a chance at a even better results.
And Harry's a driver who's had a bit of a rough go this season too. You know, just 1 top 5, 3 top 10s as he sits 15th in the point standings.
And that car, I said it earlier, I'll say it just one more time. That car deserves way more than that. I mean, the same could be said for probably the 22 and obviously the 33. Man, has he had just not had the luck on his side. Had that top 5 at Texas.
I think Harry told us a week ago it was time for a new computer.
That's true, yeah. So, he did DNF at Wilkesboro because of frames.
I wonder if this is his first race on the new computer and he's maybe feeling a little more confident with his actions, you know. Frame rate, you know, you need a good amount of frame rate to really have trust in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running too low of a frame rate, it takes a little longer to build up the confidence because you kind of have to more so anticipate, you know, how the frames skip. But if you've got the full fluid, like 60 plus frames per second.
DeSenza off the door of the 95.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh my gosh, it's happened again.
All that work, he's going to have to get it back now.
And with door damage too, so that thing's going to get tight. But yeah, it looked like he was trying to make the move around the outside of the 95, and 95 just pushed up just about that half groove, and
that's the risky play.
Yeah, that's a risky way to do it.
Wiley's had a little bit of side to side tonight too.
Goodness.
Dan Rubino just looped it down into the inside wall. No caution.
I was going to say, he's pretty low. I don't think that'll be a yellow. Although he's going to have to get it back pointing in the right direction, and he will.
Mark DeSenza's going to pit.
As Keith McLean just got by Ryan Johnson for a top 5.
I think the 33 is calling it a night.
Man, that's surprising.
Beating down pit road.
And
yep, he's done.
When will things go his way? That remains to be seen.
I think there was still a lot of race to go. I mean,
but I agree.
I don't know if I would have stopped racing right there, but I understand the frustration.
Yeah, for the season that he's had. But I'm with you. Not 55 or 120. And a car that really only just had side damage. I think that was maybe a little
There
bit
were a couple
premature.
of drivers. Yeah, there were a couple of drivers with side damage. I totally, like I said, I totally understand the frustration, but we still had half a race to go. I mean, but I get it. You know, if your confidence is kind of getting crushed,
Oh goodness!
it can be easy to wanna
Yeah, it's
wanna
kind of
end your
throwing the
night early.
towel. Yeah, man, you still got a few guys that are kind
Oh
of dancing off
Dan!
the corner here. Dan's trying to get out of the way and
Oh Keith in the grass almost in the grass again.
trying to make the move on Fugate. That's for fourth. Not gonna be able to get underneath.
A Southerner's coming out.
Man, everybody is right on top of each other up here on the top 10. How about Monty Keller starting to close in on this group? There you
Monty's
go.
good, man. Monty's good.
He's really darn good. I've seen him win on tracks like this, and I know he can get it done, so wouldn't be surprised if we see a good result out of that 028, not to be confused with the 28. Ricky Bumbalo and Ron Simpson awfully close together there for 11th and 12th. Everyone a little more scattered back there. Steve Grant back in 18th and well out of touch with the guys in front of him. And not looking like tonight will be the most productive night thus far, at least, for the 11. Back up front, though, everything is pretty status quo, but still awfully, awfully close.
You know what I just noticed, Andrew?
What's that?
Keith McLean's paint scheme's got a Krispy Kreme logo there on the quarter panel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. And I don't remember
I
that
never
being on the
noticed
Davy
that.
Allison.
I don't know if it was.
I don't think it was, but I don't know. I'll have
Was
to maybe
Eddie
ask him
Irvin
about that.
28 or something? I don't know.
I'll have to ask him about that. I'm surprised that's not a Bush logo sitting there.
He does have a Bush Ice paint scheme, so he might not have felt the need to have it on the quarter panel of his main car.
P3 now, as he just got by Fugate from the back to the front, and it took him to the halfway point to do it,
Maybe,
all but.
maybe he just wanted to see what Tyler Mallon was doing at the end of the Bomb Squad season. Tyler was doing a lot of last to first challenge, albeit in a smaller field. But Keith was probably like, you know what? I didn't get the pole, so I want to have some fun tonight. And you know, it's fun when you pass people.
Oh yeah, it makes you feel like you are on top of the world.
You see, I like passing cars, but I only like doing it when I'm lapping them, because if I start at the back, I'm scared I'm gonna get wrecked on lap one, man. Because I don't really race around those people too often. As Herman's gonna let Keith go, that'll move to 28 up to P2.
Well, every time that you race, your objective is to lap everybody, which you do pretty easily. I love hyping this guy up whenever he's up here with me. It makes him bashful. Oh, he's going for the lead this time. Here we go.
He's looking for it.
Oh, he's going to get it here soon enough. And, yes, I see you there, Ethan. Hello. HOBO stands for Hoboken. These guys are based in New York. But I see what you mean.
Oh, Keith!
Oh!
Caleb Linkle almost dumped him.
God, almost had a Steve Grant moment there from earlier.
Herman's going to use Keith as a pick. He's going to try to follow Keith by the 113.
See if Caleb can try to file in. I think he will. But new leader
there
is Mac Jetty. And here comes Herman. And man, if Caleb's not careful, he's about to get freight trained here.
Yeah, here comes the train. Choo-choo.
And they are going to put him to the high side and see you later.
He'll fall to third here. He's going to try to get aggressive here, hold off Fugate, but it's just not possible at this stage in the run when you're stuck on the top. Cody Ann now will look for fourth.
If he
Harry's
commits,
actually going to lift.
Yep, he bailed out of that. I think we're actually under yellow.
Caution.
Oh, Monty! And he's out.
Looks like maybe another solo.
Man, he was just running top 10. As we were just hyping him up. Oh, he blew up! Blew up on the backstretch.
Ah, that's a shame. Did have a little door damage. Not sure if that contributed at all, but
And then, yeah, trying to keep it out of the way and loses it on the apron. Keeps it mostly down there. Credit to him. But, oh, man.
oh, multiple drivers got really lucky that thing didn't come back up further on the track.
Oh,
Ooh,
you're not
boy.
kidding. A random engine failure for Monty Keller. Showing camshaft failure for him. As everybody's back on pit road yet again here, as we have just commenced the second half of this race. And Mac Daddy leading him down. Oh, this will be interesting considering the fact he's pitted way back here.
We'll still have one more pit stop to go after this one if they go green from here. But Caleb
trying to be
Lingo's got that.
aggressive.
Caleb Lingo's got that first pit stall. You see, he's going to make it difficult here for Herman to get out of his stall straight.
Here comes Keith coming out. I think he's probably going to get it here.
Tight.
Yeah, he got it.
Keith got it, but Caleb's going to get back in front of Herman.
Fugate and Ryan Johnson appear to be the top 5 from what I saw there.
Steve Grant opted to fix his door damage from earlier, so he'll drop a little bit.
Yeah, Steve Grant, after running the top 5 early in the going, it has not been going too well for that 11 ever since. Dan Rubino may be looking to get one of his laps back. He's 3 down right now after pitting. Randy Smith has been collecting some lady laps here tonight. That awesome looking Pontiac. Yes, a Pontiac. Got a few Pontiacs in this thing, actually. I think all those Team Speedlane guys are running them.
So, Andrew.
Yes.
You know how I was talking about Fugate's Dodge Charger?
Yeah.
So, I used to run Dodge, back in the day. Pretty much one in all the manufacturers, Dodge, Chevy, Ford, Toyota. But I haven't run Dodge in a long time. And I've been thinking about getting back to running Dodge. Well, it is finally going to happen. I'll be back in the Dodge. I'll be running the Dodge Charger, though. I used to always run the Dart, but I decided I want to run the Charger because it just doesn't get enough love. And I know it's hard to put the number on the door because of the way the paneling was done on the mod, but I want to run a Dodge Charger. I've never done it.
There you go.
So, I'll be running a Dodge Charger. Number 42, we're going to bring out the Juan Pablo Montoya paint schemes. So that'll be a Juicy Fruit car, a Big Red car. My Talladega Nights fans out there know, if you don't chew Big Red, then...
F you.
Hey, I was just going to say beep you, but I guess we're going to go there. But,
I just said the letter, it's fine.
And I will also be running a Haviland car. Now, you might be wondering, where am I doing this?
Oh.
Well, I am happy to say that I have been reinstated, and I got my license back to race at Bomb Squad.
My man, that's awesome.
Very grateful to Magoo and all the clubhouse members over there at Bomb Squad. Can't thank them enough. Especially can't thank Magoo enough for giving me another go. And with Mac Daddy's blessing, I'll be running the Haviland car and joining the Haviland gang out there with him on track.
And now the question is, are you going to put Krispy Kreme on the quarter panel?
No. I didn't tell Cody to do that. I got enough of my own associates to worry about, But yeah,
no, it's cool.
I'm looking forward
that's
to
cool,
it.
dude.
They got a lot of fun races going on. It's a long off season for them. Since they're going to try to get back to normalcy next year, where they run the season from February to November. But looking forward to running some exhibition runs starting Thursday.
Hey, hopefully I can join you for a few of those. I'm hoping I can join you on some Monday nights. And
I heard a certain somebody is finally going to make their debut, and we'll get to beat them up in happy hours since. They have a jacket, but they've never ran a race. So hopefully he'll show up and we'll get to beat him up.
Who the heck is that?
I'm not telling you. You're
Man,
in the clubhouse. You should know.
man, I'm about as cultured in that regard as a 90-year-old who just came out of our house for the first time in 5 years. Anyways, I don't know where I just went with that.
We're going back racing.
Taking the green flag here on the best lap of the night, and Mac Daddy back in the lead.
Nice. Yeah, speaking of old, Keith might be up there, but he ain't no slow dog.
No, not at all. I know Herman's
Oh, they're loosey goosey over here off turn 2.
everyone keeping it straight so far. Yeah, Herman. Now I'll throw this out there about Herman. The guy's been around the block both in sim racing here and in the real stuff too. He knows a lot of folks, and the stories and the guys that I've heard that he's been able to interact with, it honestly blows my mind just to know that in some indirect way I am kind of now within that, I guess. So it's I guess the point that I'm trying to get across here is that a lot of guys, especially in the early days of this sim, NR2003, this was the framework for modern simulators, for iRacing, and hey, it's had its connections to a lot of big names, and guys like Herman Reese have been close to some of those big names, so you got a lot of credit to give to what NR2003 has been able to accomplish for now 22 years, and still going strong with the car count in the 20s here in this league. Still got a couple other leagues that are running elsewhere, and the offline scene is still also very, very strong. So thank you to what everyone at the NR2003 team has done and has gone on to
Ryan,
accomplish as well. As yeah, here we go for
hate to
fourth.
interrupt you. Ryan Johnson looking for 4th on Fugate, but Fugate don't really give him any space, so Ryan doesn't push the issue. He wasn't quite to the rear wheels of that 9 car.
Yeah, we're getting down there in the laps here, but as you said, still another pit stop to go. So I'm sure these guys know that, and I think that's I think it's usually after the final pit stop when everybody starts to be a little less generous with giving space.
Now, one driver I'd like a little extra space to pass is the 95 because he's just twitching through the corner every corner, man. I know it's really out of his control. There's not much you can do when you're behind the wheel, but man, if I'm stuck behind that 95 car because of the little twitchy, like I don't want to risk that pass quite yet. It's still 40 something to go here.
Oh, Dan Rubino, I think, just clipped the wall there, and Ryan's going to try
Steve
again.
Rubino in the 07.
Steve, yes. Oh my gosh, I did the thing.
You got your Rubinos mixed up?
You would think I would have it figured out at this point in the season. Oh, here goes Ryan. He's got to run that time.
Not quite.
Caution?
Checked up a little early.
Yeah,
Yep,
caution.
Caution's out.
Oh, Ken Hansen. Looks like Randy Smith, maybe. But problems with 94 this time around.
And Ken had the other part of the turn 4 that I mentioned earlier is where it just kind of steps out on you and you loop it.
And yeah, we saw Dan fall victim to that earlier, but he didn't quite go all the way around. Ken does, though. And he was doing his best to get it going straight as quickly as possible, but yeah, gonna have some side damage from getting into the wall there. Let's see, we've got maybe 45 to go at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone will want to pit here because if you pit here and it goes green, you could do a 2-tire, 1-can stop at the end of the next 30-lap run if you want to get fun with it. You know, you save about 7 seconds on a pit road, but you technically, it's really easy to lose half or one more of those 7 seconds exiting pit road. because you're going to have the worn left side. So interesting strategy decisions to be made here. Personally, I think if it's 15 to go when you start pitting at the end of this thing, I would just put 4 tires on it because you can charge the corners a lot more. You'll make up that 6-7 seconds pretty easy. If it is 10 to go, 2 tires automatically.
Strategy. And if this thing goes green, it is going to be pretty darn good. Let's see who emerges where. Looks like 4 tires throughout
Some
the
strategy.
board. Well, maybe not. Fugate.
Ron Simpson took 2, and Caleb Lingle, I think, might have gotten off pit road first regardless.
Rob Heath also beat a couple guys.
Heath McLean loses 3 spots, though.
Yeah, now we're going to be really interesting here.
Not a bad time to try to take 2 here. If you get another quick 10-lap stint, you're most likely going to hang on to some of the track position. For someone like Fugate, who's been top 5 all night, this is a good test for maybe in about 30 laps when you might get a caution with 15 to go after maybe a quick run, and you want to see if taking 2 is worth it. So not a bad idea to give it the test run now. Ron Simpson, probably just looking for that position gain because he might not really be moving forward from where he's been running. He's been kind of like right around top 10, outside top 10, so.
Ron Simpson's always one of those guys in this series that is just quietly consistent, and I'm sure his top 10 count has to be pretty decent because he's always lurking right around there at the end of these things. And
3 top 5s, 4 top 10s on the year for Ron Simpson.
3 top 5s. I wouldn't have even said that, but yeah, the king consistency is that 25 when it comes to his finishing position, and looking to do it again here, maybe a little bit better even. Although here's a little wrench in everything. Bob Gibson has not come down. The 46 is still out there.
I think he just stayed out to lead a lap. Would expect him to come down this time.
No, I think he may have tried the strategy at Texas, or that may have been someone else, but I don't know. Maybe he's going to try and give it a shot here. And yep, as you said, Heath dropped back a little bit there. He's going to be 6th. Herman Reese P5. Rob Heath also with that same strategy of trying to gain some track position. That will put him in 7th at the moment. Just ahead of Ryan Johnson. Jason San Diego, Ricky Bumbalo are currently the top 10. There is Steve Rubino in 11th. Wiley King back to 12th. So not the best pit road outing there for the 95. Steve ran up to 13th.
Stay out.
And oh boy.
Yeah, Bob Gibson has decided to roll the dice.
Open for maybe a quick yellow. Or maybe not.
That 46 does have some decent speed. He's set the 12th fastest lap on the race.
And he's got a clean race car by the looks of it. I don't think that he's been involved in much of anything, so got a clean race car and has not had a chance to get up front here yet, so who knows what he's got. We'll have to find out here, but on the flip side of that, slightly older tires, a guy that has not been up front yet. Don't know if things may get a little dangerous here, especially since you also got Fugate on 2 tires, 25, Ron Simpson on 2 tires, Caleb on 4, Herman, Keith on 4. I don't know, this may get dangerous.
You can have fun showing everybody the nice wide TV angle, but I'm going to hop on board. Ryan Johnson's on board for this restart.
I'm going to be keeping an eye at the front here and see what Bob Gibson's able to do in that beautiful Speedland Camaro. I believe the only car sporting the Speedland sponsorship that is not a Pontiac in this race. Taking 41 laps to go. Still another pit stop remaining. But strategy is wide open. But how's this going to go with A mixed bag of cars up at the front. Decent start there for the 46. But here we go. Into 1 and 2 on cold tires.
Oh, they're
Kalen getting a little
stacking up.
squirrely.
Oh, Keith
Oh,
McLean's
Keys just
around.
lost it on his own.
He
I
might have
saw
had some
no
help from Rob Heath.
contact.
It was hard to tell if he had any help from Rob Heath, but we stay green
Oh,
now.
speaking
Rob
of
Heath
Rob,
is sideways, and he'll go
spinning.
around, and that will be a caution. Oh, and he
No,
gets destroyed by Ken Hansen.
nowhere to go for Ken. That will be the yellow flag.
That was a quick, lucky break for Keith McLean.
Yeah, it's going to be big for him. Bob Gibson held on to it, though. Props to him. But, oy, that's another, at least one race done in Ken Hansen's, and possibly, I believe it already has,
Oh,
for
yeah,
the 27. Yep.
I think Ken was a little ways back, and he saw Rob's car finally step out. Now, when Rob's car stepped out at the exit of 4, I would probably have the same instinctual reaction. I think the 27 is going to slide straight up the track in front of me. So Ken tries to stop and turn down, and instead the 27 stopped right on the bottom, and Ken drove straight into him. Just had nowhere to go.
Oof.
That's just tough break.
Looking at the replay there of Keith. Honestly, I think I'm with you. I think he did have help, but it was not a lot.
It
That
was
was
very
very, very light.
It was very similar to when Mark DeSenza got into Steve Grant.
Yep, just that enough of a nudge. And it probably got him squirrely. And I don't know if Rob Heath may have actually had help from Ricky Bumbalo. Let's take a look. Nope, that was just on his own.
Yeah, it was Ryan Johnson behind him. Ricky Bumbalo was.
Was I looking at the wrong car? Being an absolute.
Yeah, Ricky
Dunce.
Bumbalo wasn't close until they all checked up. Yeah, you dunce.
No.
Keith
Oh.
McLean, Ron Simpson, the two main guys that pit there.
No, Ricky was behind Rob.
Bob Gibson's still staying out. Nah, he didn't touch him though, I don't think.
No, yeah, he didn't touch him. That's what I wanted to see, but
Because he was behind them, but he wasn't the one right behind them. Ryan Johnson was the one right behind Rob Heath.
yeah, he almost had it saved, and then wheelie of the day goes to the 94, so I guess at least he has that consolation. Dan Rubino spinning out there in avoiding action. Oi! For a race that has not been a super duper ton of cautions, there's a lot of retirees on this list.
I hate it for Ken, but it's kind of comical looking at the replay of it. Looks like Ken's car just like makes a beeline for the door of the 27. If that was a real life crash, that would have been a brutal hit. I mean, that's 145 mile an hour right into the driver's side door. And like you're not even moving. Like that 27 car was stopped.
I don't think that we would be quite as amused if this were real life. But instead, NR physics took over and stopped the 94 on a dime and sent him into one of the best NR wheelies that I have ever seen.
Dan Rubino will get back on the lead lap here. That'll 17 cars left and 17 on the lead lap.
Man, that I believe is 6 cars out of it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, that's 6.
Keith McLean
and 7, 8, 9.
Keith McLean will be restarting in 14th. Actually, make that 13th as DJ will pit. This is a tiny bit close on fuel here. If you were to restart right here, and just go right into full fuel saving, you can make it to the end from here.
Ooh, especially if you're one of these guys that are coming down like Simpson, like DJ, like Randy Smith.
That might be the call here for Ron. He might be thinking, if I top off here and just save this whole run, I think I can make it if it goes green. Keith McLean not opting to do that.
Optin probably try to keep some
I don't
track position, maybe bank on some more yellow flags.
I don't know how much of a fuel saving guy Keith really is. I don't know if he really enjoys saving fuel. It's a commitment.
Yeah, yeah, you have to, and I would make the argument that you almost have to kind of change your driving style
Oh
to
yes.
accommodate like clutch in and how the car is going to respond, and you don't want to clutch too soon because otherwise tires will be too cold, and when you get back on the power, you're just going to loop it. I've done that many a time. So, but I've also won races being the only guy that was able to make it to the end in a run just like this. So it's a double-edged sword, and you got to know what you're doing when it comes to saving fuel and knowing how the car is going to respond. So Bob Gibson, let's see if he can do it again here on this restart. He pulled it off once. Let's see if he can make it happen once again. Lap 85 of 120. Here we go, 36 to go. And another nice restart there. Shout out to our guy Steve Rubino up in 6th. Ricky Bumbalo is 5th. But still a lot of time here for these guys trying to make up ground. Fugate's going to take a peek. And not quite going to be able to get underneath of him yet. Going to try into turn 3. There we go. Side by side for the lead now. And off corner exit. It's going to be a side-by-side fight, but now Gibson's going to get caught on that outside. As Caleb
Brian
Engel's probably going to try and
Johnson's
do the
on the
same thing.
move. Brian Johnson by Jason San Diego through 3 and 4. Now looking to the inside of Steve Rubino for 6th place through 1 and 2.
Oh, guys hitting the outside wall there. A few guys hitting the outside wall. Herman Reese looking for 3rd, trying to get
And
past
here's
the
Bob as a pick.
113. Yeah, and
Oh,
he was...
Caleb cuts down aggressively on the
Oh!
crossover. What a move.
Can't believe he held
Highly
on to that.
risky.
Hey, I thought he was going to loop it.
I mean, he about either dumped himself off of Herman or he
Oh
was
my
going to wreck the
goodness.
46.
85 just took the 78's nose off.
They're getting
Holy
aggressive
cow.
now.
Yeah, that's... Man, they must either be that good on fuel, or it's like, well, now's the time to make the moves and worry about the fuel later. As Bob's starting to go backwards. And Jason San Diego, Rubino's going to get under him. Steve Grant. Ryan Johnson just hit the wall going into the corner. Oh, Zach, it is game on now here at Charlotte.
Oh, and they're wrecking off of turn 2.
Oh, no!
And Keith McLean's involved.
Gonna go up the track. Yellow back out. And Caleb Lingle is gonna be the leader. Got by Fugate.
Not much contact there for Keith. No visible damage. This was a bit of a double tap. Bob Gibson almost made contact with teammate Steve Grant. Then he came down the track, clipped Wiley King. And then Keith got really lucky that Bob came back up on the track as cars were going by, because that was almost not a caution.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to pit here, take 4, and be good to make it to the end.
I'd imagine that would be the call. Ooh, Wiley King, yeah, lucky escape.
How about Ricky Bumble now up to 4th?
Run, that'll be for the 85.
Another
He's able
Dodge
to hold on
Charger
to
in the
it.
field.
Hey, you were saying those Chargers need some love. Hey, this series is giving them some love. Got a few of them here, and I am pretty sure that Jeff Stakanis also runs one.
Yes, he does.
All right, money stop. Here we go.
Ron Simpson, Randy Smith, they stay out. I wonder if Ron Ron was taking it really easy, and he has it in neutral right now, saving gas. So I think Ron is gonna stay out here. I don't think he's pitting.
I think DJ and Ricky Bumbleow just pulled some strategy as well. They just came out way ahead of everybody else. Let's cycle through all the cameras there.
DJ did fuel only.
I think the 85 did as well. It has to be the only way that he got that far ahead.
Ricky actually stopped a little short. No, Ricky did take 2.
Holy moly, this is gonna get spicy here with 30 laps, within 30 laps to go.
Well,
I'll wait and see if Randy Smith fits or not.
Well, as you know, as they always say, what happens when you have cautions?
You breed more cautions.
That's right. They get intimate. Getting intimate. Them yellow flags, you know.
What happens in the starter stand stays in the starter stand. I'll leave it at that.
What happens in the booth gets publicized for everybody. It don't stay in the booth.
Well, not when I have OBS going here. And also, what are you applying, boy?
I'm not implying nothing. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Says Mr. Intimate Yellow Flags. Here we go, BSR Talladega again. Before that happens, I'm gonna...
Nope, this is Hobo Lowe's night. It's its own night. Okay, now?
It's Hobo Night in America, y'all.
Okay, we don't need to go that far.
I'm kind of ripping off my friend Alex with that one. He does a sprint series, and he always calls it Sprint Series Night in America. I was literally hanging out with him, and he broke out his phone and said, "Hey, Andrew, what day is it?" And he made me say, "It's Sprint Series Night in America."
Casey Kane Friday. Let's go. That's in 3 more days, but
that's what I should have said. Well, I will go ahead and see where we stack up. Ron Simpson is the leader, clutching to make it on fuel. I think he will be probably able to do so. Question is, will he have the speed to hold it up there? DJ up into second. That car also looking clean in that 77. It's another guy that would like to have some luck go his way. Ricky Bumbleow in third on 2 tires. Everybody else on 4. Caleb Langle, Herman Reese, the top 5. Fugate, Johnson, San Diego, Grant, and Rubino, the top 10. So there's there's the nod for everyone in the chat. Steve Rubino 10th, and Dan 14th. Keith back in 13th, Wiley King 12th. Do they have enough speed to try to claw their way forward?
I hate to be that guy, but all signs point to big junk on this restart.
Well, it would not surprise me. Just because of the absolute mishmash of drivers that we have up here at this point.
There's a high likelihood that you're going to have some type of stack-up accordion occur, and someone's not going to be ready for it, and they're going to run into somebody. If I had to poise a guess, danger zone, I would say, is maybe around Ryan Johnson, Jason San Diego. One of those guys might get dumped.
All it takes is one bobble from someone up here at the front, and it just, yep, as I said, accordion's back, and next thing you know, 5 guys are spinning out.
Well, here we go. 28 laps to go.
Everybody good on fuel as far as we know. Slow restart there from the 77. Trying to go around the outside of the 85. Not going to be able to pull it off. 77 is the farthest he's been up here.
I don't think you're allowed to pass before turn 1. I think that's the rule here.
Yeah, even on the outside. Harry Codian going to try to make some moves back there. Saw him. They're pretty stacked up back here. Oh, but Gibson's going to spin it again.
He's got it.
Hold on to it. He
Oh,
doesn't get hit from the...
Dan.
Oof.
He got
Kept
it
it straight.
together.
No yellow.
Keith McLean's got to go to work here over these next 27 laps.
Caleb got by the 85. Now looking to get by the 77. Not going to be able to do that quite yet. Jumped right back in line. Credit to DJ for keeping it up here thus far.
Remember, he did not take tires. It was a very short run, but no new tires on that 77. Bumble going to take advantage of Caleb not making a move. He'll go back to the inside of the 113.
Looking for third back once again. Not going to be able to pull it off. Caleb sends it. Oh, goodness gracious.
That was sketchy.
Very sketchy. Ron Simpson's loving all that behind him. Herman Reese now. Underneath the 85. 85 going to try to keep in front of it and successfully does so for the time being. 25 laps to go. Still a little ways yet before the checkered. But man, with how these guys are racing, it is. Zach, I don't know about this. Oh, I don't know about this either.
Caleb's trying to find the right way to get some momentum on the 77. He just can't get it set up. That's checking them all up behind him. Reese to the inside of Bumble. Now Fugate to the inside of the 85.
Very stacked up there. And yep, 78 is going to follow suit.
Now Lingle will get to the inside of the 77.
Getting pinched. He got pinched him down. And it's going to send the 77 into the outside wall. Some more trouble up here. It involves Wiley King spinning and the 07 also around. Man, I've got to be honest and call a spade for a spade there. The 77 just pinched the heck out of the 113 down to the grass.
And I talked about it, you know, when you try to make a move going through the quad oval, the door shuts really quickly, and DJ kind of, you know, almost kind of blocked Caleb going in, and then Caleb got to his inside.
Oh my goodness.
Caleb barely clipped the grass, and I don't know if that helped send him up the track a little bit, but I mean, there was no space for that kind of touch with the grass there, and it looped DJ. And then Wiley got up into Harry Codian, put Harry in the wall, then looped it himself, and then Steve looped it, missing them. And Keith McLean put it in the wall, I think, trying to see what was going on with the 77. Actually, let's see what happened to little Keith. Oh, yeah, he actually just kind of looped it going in the one and stuffed himself in the outside wall. But everyone will come down pit road except for Ron Simpson. Ron Simpson's going to stay out again.
Steve Rubino got walloped. Actually, not even that hard of a hit from Bob Gibson.
I would have
But that killed him.
I would have at least pit for 2 again if I was Ron. And I would have at least pit for 2 again and put gas in it. He is just continuing to clutch it. Everyone just pit. They're going to put tires on it.
He's favoring track position. Fugate's going for 2. 4 for everybody else, it looks like. And yeah, Steve Rubino out of the race after getting hit by...
Oh, and Fugate sped.
Oh, kidding me. There goes that strategy. He's flat out stopped, right?
I would be careful about that. Sometimes you can get towed if you just sit too long.
Yeah.
I mean, you're better off just going and waiting somewhere else. Yeah, I would just get that thing rolling.
Yeah, I don't know if something's wrong.
Bob Gibson's sitting there. I would just go.
Well, for the Rubino fans out there, Dan's your only hope now.
That was a tough break for Fugate. Not a lot of racing left to have an error like that occur. There are still only 15 cars on the track as DJ has opted to retire along with Steve. So 15 cars left. So it looks like that wreck is essentially being claimed by DJ, I think, by retiree. Caleb will maintain second place now behind Ron Simpson.
Yeah, I watched it back that second time. That it wasn't quite as egregious as I thought it was.
Yeah, it
Uh,
wasn't that bad. There just wasn't room for the error.
yeah. That it's like you said. The quad oval there feels like the narrowest portion of any racetrack, pretty much, because those
And
walls
I
will come out and bite you.
and I think, out of the tracks that have the quad oval, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Texas, this is the narrowest one here. Texas ain't that much wider, and Atlanta's a slightly bit wider than Texas, but this is the narrowest quad oval out of the three.
So it tightens up in a hurry. So, hard racing, and he was trying to hold on as best as he could. Caleb knew though he had a fast car, was trying to get back to prime position. But now we're going to be within 20 to go, and he's got a guy with old tires in front of him. Of course, you got Herman Reese behind you though, which that's always a rather scary sight. And don't look now. Watch out for that 78. He's up in fourth. How about Ricky Bumble in fifth? And what a recovery for
Steve Grant.
Steve Grant. Yeah,
Yeah,
P6.
P6.
Beautifully done there for the 11. Just hang in there. And now in a very good position. Jason San Diego, Maverick, Wiley King, Henry Codian, your top 10. Dan Rubino, 11th. Keith McLean is 12th. And Fugate bringing it back down again just to keep it at the rear of the field. Yeah, with you. That sucks there for the 9. He definitely had that was another car that had great potential to win this race.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out another yellow because as much as I trust the driving ability of the 25 of Ron Simpson, he stayed out on old tires once again, going for the just saving gas strategy. I mean, everyone else pit there. I feel like the writing might have been on the wall. I would have brought it in, filled it up, at least put 2 on it. But Ron sticking with his play. You got to respect sticking with the play.
Going for the track position game. And, hey, let's see what's up. What is going to happen here with 19 laps to go? And you have DJ popping in the chat there. You have the, hey, Rod racing up at the front. Can't follow too bad. And again, watching it back, it looked like the pinch was way more the first time. Second time around, it didn't look quite as bad from what I
Green
thought.
flag
But
racing, Andrew.
yep, best of luck next week, my man. Green flag back at it. Great start there for Ron. Now how's Caleb gonna take advantage of this one? That was a great run off of turn 2. And that will put him back out in front. But now Herman's got to do pretty much the same thing and try to get by and run him down. 78 doing the same thing, and now 25 next to fall victim to that outside there.
And Ron's on those old tires, so you get stuck on the top and you're just sinking like a block of concrete. Ooh, Ricky Bumbalo slid up a little bit more than I think he wanted to there, middle of the corner. That checks him up a bit, but he'll still get to the inside as Ryan Johnson is going to take second away from Herman Reese.
Firmly so. My goodness.
Now, Herman might be thinking, I'm going to save my stuff here a tiny bit and maybe make my charge right at the end. So he lets Ryan Johnson go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
laps to go.
This isn't a mega short run.
But it's still enough of a run. You don't want to push too much. And right now, Ryan Johnson is going for it.
And he's already to the tail of the 113. Ooh, he's going to get a run here. Does he take advantage? Oh, yeah, he is. Here we go, 16 to go. Battle for the lead. Ooh, Caleb sends it.
Caleb sending it on that outside line, trying to hold steady. Now Herman following Ryan, trying to give the draft to the 78, keep him next to that 113.
Caleb's doing a great job fighting back there on that outside, but Ryan gets clear and leads for the first time tonight in the Buffalo Wild Wings
Oh,
machine.
we've got trouble.
Yellow flag.
Ricky Bumbalo's got a flat right front tire. He has killed the outside wall.
My goodness, what happened there? That looks really unusual. Yeah, let's have a look there. That's weird.
He hit the wall off of turn 4, and then he made slight contact with Jason San Diego, and he killed the outside wall through the quad oval. I mean, it just destroyed his car.
Oh! I see what you mean. And Dan Rubino, another spin out there that, again, won't hurt him too badly. But, wow. Yeah, I'm surprised that amount of damage. But, man, that's another driver that, after a promising run, not gonna be able to convert.
You know what's crazy is that car wasn't even really sideways enough that I think the game would normally throw a yellow, but because he killed the outside wall and it started dropping debris, the game was like, oh yeah, that's a caution.
It was spewing smoke and all sorts of stuff. Ooh, here we go. This, hit strategy.
Oh, a lot of people staying out. Keith McLean's going to go in.
My goodness, everybody's psyched out there.
Will finally come down. He fell all the way to 11th there.
Yeah, a lot of side damage. He found the outside wall.
Flip the strategy here now, but I mean, Andrew, it's not very often that you see someone blow a tire from hitting the outside wall. Like, that doesn't happen a lot, and Ricky got sent into the outside wall just in the right spot that it killed his car, and it just took the right front right off it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what threw me off, was like, how the heck did he kill it that badly? And that it killed the suspension, but he's coming back out.
It was in the right spot at the quad oval. That's the dangers with the quad ovals. You know, that's why a lot of people have gotten hurt in NASCAR, and you know, a couple of people have lost their lives because of the design of the quad oval.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just that transition from a slight turn and just a straight wall.
It's a
That's
sharper
exactly what
corner
Ricky
than
found.
it's a sharper corner than it looks like on TV. It's nothing to snuff at. That's like a, you know, it's a borderline 45-degree turn right there.
Yeah, that would have been concussion central if this were real life, no matter what generation of car you were running.
I mean, with the way the walls are on this version back in 03, you might be lucky to get out alive from a hit like that.
That's actually honestly a fair point.
I mean,
They got pretty much
broken leg, definite concussion, I'd say. I mean, that's a bell ringer accident right there.
Yeah, big time. So, pretty much the majority of everybody staying out here. A few guys further back there opting to pit. First of those guys will be Keith McLean in 11th. Top 5 will be Ryan Johnson, Caleb Lingle, Herman Reese, Steve Grant, and Jason San Diego. Two guys, again, great recovery, especially for the 11. Maverick in 6th. Wiley King, Kodian, Fugate, Randy Smith, the top 10 as they run. Ricky Bumbalo somehow still running. Only got 15 cars left. Holy cow. Yeah, he is a lap down.
That thing's, I mean, he's going to be lucky to just get that thing running back over maybe 160 miles an hour.
Yeah, the engine's killed. Iffy suspension on it after that damage. Ryan
Ryan
Johnson's
Johnson's trying to heat up the rear tires, I think.
got 10 laps.
10 to go.
In a race of attrition. And we see that Buffalo Wild Wings car back up at the front. Caleb
Still need to
Lingle,
go
though.
back. I need to go back to Buffalo Wild Wings. I need to get my buddy Tyler to go with me.
Hey, I've been back since, and you'll be proud of me. I actually went a little hotter on the wings this time.
Oh, yeah?
What was it that I got? Tennessee hot, I think?
Nashville hot?
And Nashville hot, that's what it was. Yeah, that was pretty good, but I will admit that was probably toward the high end of my enjoyment level.
Did you flip it back to the live coverage? Because I'm still seeing. I know there's a delay, but I'm still seeing the loading screen.
Oh my word, I'm glad you said that. I literally have the second screen over here to prevent me from doing that, and I just did it. Oh my goodness. But we're back. We are back.
Good man.
10 laps. Ryan Johnson, Caleb Lingle, and 73.
I'll see what happens.
Some not much love lost there, but let's see if that transpires. Green flag back out. Pretty even restart. All three guys up here in the top three. All right, on top of each other. Gotta get these tires back up to temperature. Caleb taking that line there, just kind of naturally following it. Maverick got a little loose there, and going to try for 5th place on San Diego. He's going to get that spot.
Marvin Reese making a charge here on Caleb as they come off of turn 4. As they're
He's got a
crashing
good
behind
run.
Big Junk, Fugate, Keith McLean, Jason San Diego.
Oh, brother.
Crashing through the quad oval.
Cody Ann into McLean. King spinning off of Gibson.
I believe they are racing back right now, and Caleb's got the advantage on Ryan.
Ryan's going to try to fight on the outside. And looks like he's going to do so.
Yeah, he's holding it.
And 113 got tight. But we will still have one more restart.
Now, don't look now, but Ron Simpson got through all that madness, and he's up to 6th place on fresh tires. Not going to have a lot of time to do anything with him, but he is in a pretty good spot to maybe steal the top 3.
Man, what a crazy race this has been. And
Keith McLean's car is
big
junk.
trouble here. Yeah, 28's junk, 95 is junk.
See how that really happened here.
Yeah,
Jason San Diego was just all out of shape, and Wiley King was right on him and just kind of triggered this all.
Yeah, it looked like that was a very brief, hard checkup from the 22 to try to keep it straight. But instead, what that did was, just
put Harry in the wall, and then Keith had nowhere to go, drove straight into the back of San Diego, and then Fugate, man, he about had it cleared, and he got clipped at the last second by the 22.
Yep, I think 22 may have was maybe starting to lose it.
Keith gets hit again by Harry.
Yeah, there he's starting to lose it. Checks up, and oh my goodness gracious, it's those hard hits.
No, not the night we expected for Keith McLean.
No.
In a really good spot, and then just, you know, that minor contact off of turn 2 on that one restart put him in a hole, and he just was never really able to recover. And now the damage. See if he elects to continue just to get a few extra points out of it.
Yeah, try and see if anybody else retires from that. Started with 26 drivers that took the green flag. We are down to 15.
Keith McLean ain't got no hood.
Oh my goodness, that thing is not looking very happy. Oh, Wiley King, same thing. No hood. But to the Rubino fans, Dan is now in the top 10. Fugate and Jason San Diego, despite being involved in that, are 7th and 8th. But quite impressively so. So it'll be probably 4 to go on this restart. Ryan just has to duplicate pretty much what he did on that restart and just trying to keep the tires under him. Caleb, though, very aggressive on these on the corner entries. And then, of course, you got Herman just patiently waiting there. I'm sure that he is just all too eager to pick up the pieces of whatever happens in front of him. Still got Steve Grant in 4th, though. You can't count him out. And Maverick has found his way to a top 5 here in the 23. Awesome stuff there for that John Deere machine. Oh my goodness, this is going to be something to behold, Zach. I'm calling it now.
Right on, man. Yeah, this is going to be great. Checkers or wreckers pretty much here. We get the lights off here. It'll be a 4 to go shootout.
Checkers or wreckers? And a combination of both, perhaps. What is going to happen here at the High Banks of Charlotte? Of course, next week it will be Nashville Superspeedway for these guys. That'll be a different showing at a track that not a lot of open setup experience. So we'll see what these guys are able to do with that one. I believe that'll be about 107 laps. And then some fast Cup Series races will be broadcast here on select Sunday nights coming up here over the next few months.
About that.
Yep, I remember. I think the first of those will be June, what's that, 8th, I think it was?
Yeah, Michigan.
So be sure to tune in for that one. And, of course, thank you, Zach, for
I got to send you the Discord invite still, I think.
Oh, they got their Discord. Okay, yeah.
I got to send you the invite for that.
We'll get all set up for that. Yeah, you guys will definitely want to tune in for that one. That'll be some awesome races, especially for Michigan. That's always a very competitive track. Rock on HOBO, indeed. These guys have been putting on a very competitive show all season long. 15 races into the season. And Charlotte has proven to be one of the more attrition-based races here. But it's been all close quarters racing throughout the entire night. Never at any point has anyone been able to pull away. But 4 to go. This will decide it. A caution at this point will end it. Here we go.
Caleb with a good restart will get to the outside of Ryan Johnson.
Don't know how that's going to work. He's got to keep the car under him if he's going to have any chance on exit.
A little wiggly there, but he still stays side by side. Herman trying to give draft to Ryan Johnson down the back straightaway.
I think that's going to give the advantage to the 78, and it will. 78 clear for the lead. Herman trying to follow suit, trying to give himself a chance. Caleb just barely enough room, will file in behind. 3 laps to go, and Herman up to second.
Steve Grant's right there with a chance to do something if contact were to occur. Herman with a pretty good run. Ryan's going to cover low.
That's the way to do it. That outside lane's a dangerous place to try to make a pass. Ron Simpson right on the tail of the 23. All 6 of these guys under a blanket with 2 laps remaining. Ryan Johnson looking strong. But as always, you see Herman in your mirror. That is a dangerous combination.
Herman with a decent run here. He's going to have some momentum here down the back straightaway. Not quite close enough to make a move yet here. They'll head off into turn 3. It'll be 1 lap to go at the start-finish line.
The white flag gonna fly here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And can Ryan Johnson continue to fend off this 73? He's doing a great job of it so far. Caleb, though, with a run on the 73. Barely holds on to it.
Herman running a little higher, trying to set up some momentum here down the back, but the momentum is practically even. Oh, Herman's going to try something here, maybe in the 3. Not quite going to get there. Ryan Johnson leads him off of turn 4.
Herman trying to back up the entry. Not going to be enough, though. It will be win number 2 on the season for Buffalo Wild Wings, 78. Ryan Johnson.
Oh, I got to go this weekend now. Well, actually, I can't. I got stuff Saturday to do. I can't go. I don't like going anywhere on Sunday. Sorry, Ryan. I'll have all the rain ticket on that one for you.
I'll make it happen soon enough. That is a win at Homestead and a win at Charlotte for Ryan Johnson. Add him now to the multi-time winners club this season. And a big haul of points that should probably get him, if not into the top 3 in points, darn well close. As a little lick of damage there. He's getting some Coca-Cola to wash down those wings.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, the move of the race came, many laps before the end. It was on that lap 102 restart. He made quick work. He was charging hard. Herman let him go for second at the time, and then he took the lead away from Caleb Lingle, and he never looked back, held on to the lead from that point forward. And a great win here for the 78 of Ryan Johnson.
And you can tell he's happy about it. He is letting this thing go on this burnout here. Spinning it in the grass, spinning it on the front stretch. Man, he's excited, and you can tell. Give credit to Caleb Lingle, though, finally gonna get a very good result with that 3rd place finish.
Herman
Reese second, yeah. He's had a few, but way less than he probably should.
Now, Ryan Johnson's either gonna burn off the rear tires or blow the engine.
Well, I think he's gonna run out of fuel at this rate. Man, he is letting it go. Attaboy.
Looks like he got his fill.
Oh, that was awesome. That he went pretty high on the spice meter on that one. Well, pretty well covered there. Johnson, Reese, Lingle in the top 3 there. We'll try to get a word with each of those guys. Steve Grant, what a recovery drive, though, up to 4th. That is very impressive. And Maverick with the top 5. Ron Simpson 6th. Bob Gibson, after everything that he was involved in tonight, thought that he was done for at many points. Going to finish 7th. And Dan Rubino 8th. Randy Smith 9th. Fugate, some disappointment there with 10th. Jason San Diego, Harry Codian, Keith McLean, Ricky Bumbaloo, and Wiley King. Those are all the drivers that finished. That is the top 15. DJ, Steve Rubino, Rob Heath, Ken Hansen, Monty Keller, Mark Jacenza, Charlie T, Charlie Trusty, Eddie Rayleigh, Duke Sorensen, EJ, and Greg Stenzo. That's your full DNF list there on down. 26 drivers that started, 15 finished, 13 of which on the lead lap. A race of attrition, but a fun one, a little dramatic at points, and maybe some unhappy drivers. But at the end of the day, there is definitely one driver that's going to be happy about it no matter what, and that is Ryan Johnson. But as usual, though, we'll go down our order here and talk with our top 3, starting with the 113.
User was moved to your channel.
There's Caleb. Pole setter on the night. Started first, finishes 3rd. Caleb, do you copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Right on, man. That some luck went your way here tonight with a good result. We've been kind of mentioning that some luck has not quite gone your way, but it has a little bit here tonight, even with some hard racing and some contact up points. But Still, though, that car had a lot of speed, and finally a good result to show for it. It's got to feel pretty good for you.
Yeah, I'm happy to finish this thing about where I ran. It's been a little bit since that's happened. But yeah, a lot of good racing up there with Herman, Fugate, Keith was up there, and Ryan came on there at the end. A lot of good hard racing. We raced each other clean, and but it was fun. I hope it was fun up there.
It was certainly fun to watch, even if it was a bit chaotic at points. But hey, there was no point that battle for the lead was not darn close, and that kept it pretty exciting. Just got to ask you, as far as the driving conditions, a lot of slipping and sliding there, especially on those cold tires, and a few points that I thought a lot of guys were going to lose it, but y'all managed to hold on to it pretty well. But how did it drive from your perspective?
Yeah, first couple laps were a little on the edge, and we're all pretty fast. So every lap you got to push it, but also at the same time you got to try to save your tires. So there's a fine line trying to make that happen. I don't know if I did good with that or not. We really didn't get a good long run to see. One of the longest runs, I fell back a little bit and started working my way back. I was curious to see how that was going to play out, but uh, it was, you're on the edge every lap. There's no resting and cruise control here.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like it. Zach, if you got anything for Caleb, if Zach is present. I guess not. That's okay. Um, I guess on that note, though, uh, this will definitely give you a good points boost. Hoping that that will potentially give you a shot at the championship. But I think with that win, can't remember if they said if it was like you made half the starts with a win, you would be in. But regardless, though, if that is the case, and you will be battling for that championship, feel like luck maybe starting to finally go in your favor that you may have a chance at it.
We'll see. Points. They fall where they fall. Right now I'll just take this luck, momentum, whatever it is. I'll take it. One race in, so let's next week maybe try and make it two in a row. That'll be good.
Nashville Super Speedway will be the stomping grounds and another mile and a half. So we'll see what kind of speed that 113 has, but it certainly had a lot of speed tonight and some hard racing there. That was a lot of fun to watch. So congrats to you, man, on that third place. Of course, whenever we bring you up here, you know what to do, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Thank for my teammates, the help they give in race strategies and things like that. We try to do. I was working with Ryan a little bit there towards the end, trying to figure out what we're going to do in the last pit stop. So that was good teamwork there. Also, hello to my family and uh, extended and other family and friends that are watching. Uh, Glad I finally was able to finish one and speak to y'all. So and appreciate y'all doing this and Keith getting this broadcast going, and I know others have donated as well. But glad to see these things being broadcast. It's a lot of fun, and it's awesome to come back and watch it.
Hey, it's our pleasure every time that we get to do it. So, as I always say, just appreciate you guys entrusting me with the role. And hey, we'll see what you guys are able to do at Nashville. Best of luck there. But for right now, though, man, just savor that good result and yeah, just drink it all in. Keep it up.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You too, my man.
User left your channel. Error.
There we go. So Caleb Lingle finishing third. Next up, a familiar face that
Tyler
User
wanted
was
to come
moved
run
to your
here, and Steve
channel.
told him
we've
no.
we've been
Go
able
ahead.
to interview a whole bunch of times. It is Herman, and hey, another top three for you, man. Just one spot short this time, but hey, you're just continuing to rack up these great finishes.
Yeah, I think I learned my lesson a couple weeks ago at Kansas. Take what I can get, but the man, what a solid group of cars tonight that we had. That anybody, I mean, Ryan, right at the right place at the right time, made the right moves, and was able to come home with a win. I was going to try, I don't know if you can see, and I was going to try and do that deal I did a couple weeks ago to get the win, and I was a little too late to sucker him to the top there, but you did a good job. Caleb had a great car. Keith had a great car, got bad, he had a bad pit stop and then paid for it. Fugate, same thing. He had a good car. I mean, it's getting tough. I told you. And I told you Ron Simpson would be one to look out for. He led some laps tonight, and it was a fun race. I think I over adjusted a little bit there, and that allowed Ryan to get a run on me on that one restart. And smart big picture is don't fight them, just drop in behind and try and let the race come back. Knew there was going to be some more stuff going on, but overall it was a fun night. Some good racing. I'm sure you guys had some good stuff.
Oh, a lot of good stuff. There was never a time that the battle for the lead was really all that dull, and everyone stayed right on top of each other. A race of attrition, but it certainly kept things pretty fun up here. Zach, if you have returned.
Yeah, I'm eating a cookie right now.
Let's talk
Oh,
about.
that's why.
I even said something to him afterwards on one of the restarts when Bob Gibson stayed up front, and Caleb. I got underneath Caleb, and he was on the outside, and I keyed up the mic after the caution came out. I said, "Holy cow, that's a NASCAR Cup style move." You guys had been going crazy where he was on the top and split us down the front stretch. That was something to behold. I hated being a victim of it, but I was like, damn, that was cool.
There were a lot of neat moves there, and just how he was able to send it around the outside, and then when Ryan Johnson was able to keep it on the outside when they were racing back for the lead there. They're really there were no dull moments, and it was pretty good stuff. Zach, if you have any particular questions for Herman?
Yeah, what more do you need to get back by that 78? Maybe you shouldn't have let him go, huh?
Well, you weren't here. I didn't have a choice. I got loose there, and he got a good run and big picture racing. I'm like, well, there's enough laps. I was super confident in my car. Once Keith dropped back, I honestly thought it was going to be a 2-car race between Caleb and I, and maybe Fugate. Fugate and I had the exact same setup, and I was like, well, sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So my car was so good on the bottom coming off of 3 and 4. And you could see that I was working him over pretty good at the end of the race there. I don't know if I had enough, but and those guys, Caleb and Ryan, they worked together, and so I was the only horseman. We miss Jeff Stakanis tonight. He's down in the Keys. Say hi to him. And KJ was like 50 seconds late making qualifying tonight, so we were down 2 teammates, and I had to wave the flag for the horseman tonight.
You did a hell of a job in doing that, and it was a lot of fun to watch too. I mean, good grief, there's rarely a time that you're not up at the front and able to make it happen. And like you said, those 4 horsemen guys and the information that you guys share, it is paying a lot of dividends for you this season.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I lost my qualifying streak tonight to Caleb. He's always fast here, and I practiced all week, and I actually ran some record break, like almost wide open 50. I ran a 51 on Wednesday, so I was a little disappointed to qualify second. Keith had taken second and then inadvertently went down pit road and it DQ'd him for some reason. So I'll take the position that these guys are so good, you got to start up front. You see KJ and Keith are some of the few guys that can start in the back and work their way up there. But it's so many good guys you got to pass to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely got harder as they were going forward, but they managed to do it. And again, yeah, like you said, just the testament to the talent and the skill that all these guys are bringing to the table on a consistent week by week basis. We'll see how Nashville goes for everybody. That's going to be a lot of fun. But of course, for now though, it's a runner-up finish for you, and that'll be another track. I'm sure that'll be up your guys' wheelhouse. But for right now though, we'll keep the train rolling, but of course, you know what to do. Close the thoughts, shout-outs, whatever you want to do, man. Floor is yours.
10-4. I start off thanking my team, man. What a great week we had working together. You guys for putting the show on. As always, the HOBO Rubino brothers out of New Jersey, holding it strong for us so we can keep doing this and having some fun. I'm not sure who sponsored this. Might have been Keith this week. We're still figuring that out every week. He's got some thank yous for some of the guys that have sent in our donations, so we keep broadcasting, keep our egos pumped up. So I just got to keep rolling them top fives, and the rest will fall. Congrats to the winner and to their team. Caleb needed a good run, right? It's so much bad luck, and we'll see you next week. I feel pretty confident I'll be having a conversation with you next week.
Hey, you just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll be talking to you once again next week. At this rate, I got to give you one of these headsets.
Yeah, 10-4.
But,
Thanks, guys, and appreciate you guys. Have a good week.
Yeah, brother. You too.
User left your channel.
Runner-up, Herman Reese. And that leaves our race winner, Mr. No Practice.
User was moved to
Buffalo
your
Wild
channel.
Wings. What's good?
Wild Wings. Man, you copy, Ryan?
Got a copy.
Win number 2 in the season. Comes in a chaotic yet a fun race. But yeah, Mr. No Practice. And yet you found yourself up there at the end of it. Just how are you able to pull that off? Because you usually qualify pretty deep, but 9 times out of 10, you're up there battling for these things at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, I race every night. I hate practice. I kind of just figured out during the race, so it's funny you say that. And tonight, it came together. Just took my time, and it all worked out.
Worked
Right
out
on.
beautifully. Oh yeah. Zach, I'll let you have the floor for a moment if you have any
Yeah.
questions or anything. Have at it.
Talk about that charge there with about 15, 16 laps to go, where you went from 4th to the lead in about 3-4 laps off that restart. What was going through your mind that said, I need to get the lead now and then play defense for the rest of the race?
Well, I knew it was time to go. Typically here at HOBO, we get these late race cautions, and I kind of was counting on that trend to happen. And I'm always good on the short run. I pride myself on a short run car. I might not be able to stick it out with the long run with some of these guys, but I can drive it hard. I'll drive it loose, and it seems to stick and make moves happen. I knew Caleb had a little bit of damage. He's my teammate. So yeah, once I got around Herman, concentrated on Caleb, and I kind of knew I probably had the upper hand on him. And I do want to give a shout out to him because we took the yellow with about, I think it was 8 to go. I thought I took it, and he had the run, but he let me back by because he's like, no, I don't want to do that to you. So I shout out to Caleb for that. So I think I could have got him anyway, but yeah, that was very, very sportsman of him. He caught it that I didn't take the yellow, and I thought I did, but kudos to Caleb there.
That's good sportsmanship there. Didn't want to steal the spot.
Yeah, he didn't
from
want
you.
it that way, and I wouldn't have did it either. So it was so close at the line, I thought, and I just didn't catch that. I didn't catch the yellow. So
Yeah, good on him for that. I guess the only other question that I'll pop to you real quick is with that short run car and then kind of running that more loose setup. Did that kind of help you with making those moves, and then also some of the power moves that looked like you were able to do around the outside at points, and maybe kind of widen the groove a little bit for you, as you could say?
yeah, I think so. Or most of the race, I was just kind of riding. I got stuck behind some guys that I didn't, not real comfortable racing hard with, and I just kind of had to ride it out. And I knew I was still with the lead pack, so I was just, like I said, riding it out, waiting. And one of the guys that I'm not too fond of, he made a mistake on pit road, and once that happened, was able to get by him. I knew I could race hard with the other guys that were in front of me at that point, so that made a big difference. So
It all panned out in the end. And win number 2 on the season. You got at Homestead. You now got Charlotte to your name. And even further up into the points now. Feel like you may have a chance at this championship?
Yeah, I mean the lineup in the chase doesn't really favor, towards the end my tracks, but we'll see what we can do. Just want to get set up to get in that chase and see if I have something for these guys. A tough group of guys here at Hobo. So anytime you can beat a Herman, Keith McLean, Jeff Stanicus, Fugate, Caleb, it's just a field deep of good drivers, and I'm just glad to be able to race with them.
And hey, you're competitive with them at most tracks and most weeks, and we love watching it. We loved watching it tonight, and that was another good deal. I know I probably say that every week, but it's true. It's just the show that you guys put on. That's
Yeah,
just what you
it's
guys are
fun.
capable of.
It's a good time over here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a good time being in a victory lane and doing one of the best burnouts that I think I've seen this season. So nicely done.
You were waiting
and,
for them tires to blow or the engine to blow.
or both.
Yeah, I had a red light going on, so I figured I'd burn it down.
Literally. So a great win, then. Of course, anytime that we get you up here, closing thoughts and shout outs are always yours to wrap it up.
Yeah, obviously, shout out to Hobo Racing for putting on a great league to race at. Appreciate Steve Rubino, Dan, all the admins, Jeff. I'm probably missing a few guys, but yeah, it's a good time over here. Love coming over and racing at Hobo. And shout out to you guys for coming out and supporting us as always. And yeah, that's about all I got for tonight.
And not a problem, my man. You go celebrate well-earned win, and we'll see what we're able to do once we get over to Nashville Super Speedway. That'll be another good one.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Go get it,
Good
man.
one, Ryan.
Thanks, Zach.
Insufficient permissions.
I can't move him there.
User was moved out of your channel.
That'll work. Well, it was Charlotte now in the books, and another multi-time winner on the season, but still the season proven to be very, very competitive. And another kind of intermediate track heading into next week. So, Zach, I will get your closing thoughts on what we got to see this evening.
Yeah, well, as Ryan said, it was very much with the trends there. The yellows kind of starting to breed there at the end of that race, and that can be kind of something you see everywhere. It's a pretty common occurrence for leagues and drivers. Once they know that they're good on fuel and they don't need tires again if it goes green, they get more aggressive, and that typically brings out more cautions, brings out a little more recklessness. And, that's what we had tonight for about the last 40 laps. They just couldn't really get a long run under their belt. They had those two decent runs there, one early to start and then one around like the quarter, the third point. Overall, great race. A lot of chaos, good from our perspective. And yeah, congrats to Ryan Johnson on the win.
And congrats to Ryan. Love to see it. And hey, at some point, I'm sure me and Zach on our own accord will be hitting up Buffalo Wild Wings yet again very soon in accordance. But like I said, Nashville next week, same time, same place, and we'll get to see that for 107 laps of racing. Thank you to everyone that tuned in, and just standard affair. We do it all again in 1 week's time. Of course, tune back in again on June 8th for the first race that we'll be covering of the Fast Racing League and their Sunday night series. So keep an eye out for when that gets going. But thank you again, Zach, for joining me for this one. And we will see everyone in a week's time. Until then, though, have a good evening.